As a quick review, try these 3 problems here, and then I'll go through the answers. So, for the top one, x should be equal to 2. This one here, x should be equal to 64. And on the bottom, x should be equal to 5. So it's making sure we really understand that material. All right, so today's nugget of knowledge is the youngest person to ever climb Mount Everest was 13 years old. So that's about your guys' age, so get ready to climb Mount Everest. We are going to be working on some decimal and fraction bases, but the idea and the concept are going to stay exactly the same. So for this one, if we have 0.02 squared, that means that we have 0.02 times 0.02, which if we remember from multiplying decimals, we do it the horizontal method like this, and we get 4, 0, 0, and 0. We add them all up. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4 decimal places. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We add a 0 there, and that's our decimal, 0.0004. Now, if you want a nice shortcut to work on these problems, all you do, and I'm going to quick erase this. All you do is you look at how many decimal places here. We have 2 decimal places, but it's squared. So we do 2 plus 2 equals 4 decimal places. So then we do the number 2 squared, which is 4, and we move the decimal place 4 to the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4 goes right there. 1, 2, 3. So that's our answer that we got up here. As another example over here, we have 1 decimal place cubed. So we have 3 decimal places, and then we do 3 cubed, which is 27, and we move the decimal place 3 times. 1, 2, 3, goes right there, 0, so 0.027. You can do it either way. You can do the shortcut way, or you can do the long method. I'd like the shortcut because it's substantially quicker, but you're free to pick your own. I want you to try these on your own and see what you get. So for this one, we have 2 decimal places squared, so that means we have 4 decimal places. 6 squared is 36, and we move the decimal place 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, ends up right there. So we get 0.0036. And we're done. This one we have 1 decimal place cubed, so we have 3 decimal places. 7 times 7 is 49. 49 times 7, that one I have to do this way, 63, 28, 343. And there are 3 decimal places, so 1, 2, 3. So 0.343 on this one. Questions on those? Make sure you bring them to me. We can work on them together. Fractions are incredibly easy, and like I've been saying the whole year, and I will continue to say for the rest of your math career, fractions are actually easier than decimals. All you do for fraction problems, if we have 1/4 squared, that means we do 1/4 times 1/4. 1 times 1 is 1. 4 times 4 is 16, and we're done. That's it. 2/3 cubed is 2/3 times 2/3 times 2/3. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. And boom, kaboom, we're done. So that's it. Try these 2 on your own. 1/5 times 1/5 is 1/25. 3/4 cubed is 3/4 times 3/4 times 3/4. So that's 27 over 64. which cannot be simplified. Now, for these problems, if the number inside is simplified, then the answer will be simplified. If you had a problem like this, 2/4 squared, since this isn't simplified, this answer that you would get, which would be 4/16, would have to be simplified as well. So if the original problem is simplified, your answer will also be simplified. Now we have some negatives thrown into the stuff that we're already doing, but it doesn't actually change the problem. -6 squared is just -6 times -6, which is still a positive 36. -0.5 squared, well, there's one decimal here, so that means there's two decimals. 5 times 5 is 25, and the negative goes away, so we have 0.25 because we have two decimal places. -0.06 cubed. Now, there's a couple things here. First of all, it's a negative times a negative times a negative, so our answer will be negative. There are two decimal places here, cubed. 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6 decimal places. 6 cubed will be 216. So 216, 6 decimal places, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 0.0000216 with a negative in the front. And finally, -1/3 cubed, well, we can just write this 3 times because it's a fraction. That's the easiest way to do it. -1 times -1 times -1 is -1. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27, and that's our answer. All right, so negatives don't actually change much of the problem, just a little bit of the thinking. Last slide, try this one on your own. So -0.6 cubed, 3 decimal places. We already know that that's 216, but it's -216. 3 decimal places, 1, 2, 3. It goes right there. -0.05 squared. Well, that negative would go away because it's squared. So we get 25, 4 decimal places, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like that. -8 squared is positive 64. And -1/2 to the 5th is -1 over 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32. Just like that. All right, if you have questions on these, make sure you bring them to me. We will work on them together.